Hello again everyone and welcome to another video of Matuklasan. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how to perform one sample t-test in Microsoft Excel. The one sample t-test examines whether the mean of a population is statistically different from a known or a hypothesized value. This is an example of a parametric test, so it is best to consider the normality of the data and the possible outliers before performing the test. Let's take a look of this example. According to statista.com, internet users in the Philippines spent an average of 10.27 hours accessing the internet on various devices during the third quarter of 2021. Now, say a researcher decided to test if the average usage in their area is different from the reported value, which is 10.27 hours. So he randomly selected 40 residents in their area. So the name of their subdivision is Pasadena, and how asked the respondents about their average usage daily. So our null hypothesis is the average usage of Pasadena subdivision residents is not different from the national average. So here our hypothesized mean is 10.27 hours, while we need to find for the mean of this data set. So for the 40 respondents, we got this usage, their daily usage in hours. For us to identify the t-statistic value and the p-value, we need to identify first descriptive statistics like mean, standard deviation sample, and standard error of mean. So let's start with the mean. For you to find the mean, you just type equal sign and then average. Select the range of the data, close parenthesis, and enter. So we can see here that the average of the 40 residents in terms of their daily usage in hours is 9.8. For the standard deviation, just need to type STDV, and you can use this to identify the sample standard deviation, which is stdev.s. You can select this one or just type the whole syntax. And for this, like in the average, we just need to select the range again, close parenthesis, and then enter. For the number of sample, we can already see that we have 40 respondents, but if you want to identify it using a formula, you can use equal sign and then count, open parenthesis, select the range for the data set, and enter. So here we can see that we really have 40 respondents. Now for the standard error, we need the formula equal sign standard deviation divided by square root of the sample size. In this case, it's 40. So let's just select this cell, close parenthesis, and the standard error of the mean is 0.27. For the degrees of freedom, it's just n minus 1. So equal sign, n is 40 minus 1. The answer should be 39. For the hypothesized mean, remember that this is given. It's 10.27 hours. Okay. So in case the population mean is not given, like this one, 10.27 hours, we can consider an arbitrary value or a value that is based on our assumption. For the t-statistic or t-value, the formula is sample mean minus the population mean divided by SEM. Okay, so here we need to type equal sign, open parenthesis, select the sample mean, which is 9.8, minus the population or hypothesized mean. In this case, it's 10.27, close parenthesis, divided by SEM. So here the SEM or the standard error is 0.27. type equal sign, and the t-statistic is negative 1.75. Now, for the final step, we need to identify the p-value so that we could decide if we will retain or reject the null hypothesis. So you just need to type equal sign and then t dot dist, short for distribution, dot 2t, open parenthesis, and the x here stands for the t-statistic value. We have a negative t-statistic here, which tells us that the population mean is greater than the sample mean. But this formula or syntax in Excel considers the absolute value or the positive value for the t-statistic. So if it's negative 1.75, you can type 1.75 here, or you can just use the absolute value formula, which is ABS, open parenthesis, select the cell for the t-statistic, and then close parenthesis, comma, for the degrees of freedom. The degrees of freedom is 39, so you could just type 39 or select this cell, open parenthesis, and it's done. The p-value now is 0.088. And now, since the p-value is greater than 5% or 0.05, the decision is to retain the null hypothesis. To report the results in APA style, you can transfer the descriptive statistics here in this table, and it could be seen from here that the average internet usage of the Pasadena subdivision residents was lower than the national average of 10.27. And this difference is not statistically different because we retain the null hypothesis. So the M here, 9.8, is the mean. The SD is the standard deviation. The 39 here is the degrees of freedom. And the negative 1.751 is the t-statistic, while 0.088 is the p-value for the one sample test. Okay, so before we end our video, let me show you a faster way to compute or show the descriptive statistics using the data analysis tool. So all you need to do is to go to data, select data analysis, and if you have not added this function or tool in your Microsoft Excel, you can always check my video about it. Select data list or data analysis rather, then go to descriptive statistics, select OK, and select the range for the data set. Okay, then since I included usage in hours for the title, I will select labels in first row here, new worksheet apply, and select summary statistics and confidence interval if you need it. Select OK, and you can see that the mean is here, which is 9.8. Even the standard error of 0.27 rounded to 2 decimal places is here. The standard deviation is also correct. We have sample variance, but we don't need it in the formula. So the only things that we need here are the mean, standard error, and the standard deviation. So that's how you compute the descriptive statistics of multiple variables in case you have various variables to run in a one sample test. And that's all for this video. If you want more of this, you can always check my playlist in the description down below, and please don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.